Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show. It is officially November 25th. It's almost Thanksgiving. And you know what? It's going to be a hell of a Thanksgiving. Donald Trump is elected the 47th president of the United States. We could be entering into a a Renaissance golden era, if that's what you want to call it. Basically an area of prosperity, an era. I'm still waking up, if you can't tell. I haven't had a full cup of coffee yet. I stayed up very late last night, way later than normal, to try and fix my computer. I'm having some issues with it, so I've been trying for 2 days now to fix this thing, and ran a 10-hour test on this bad boy. Well, anyways, enough of that. You guys are like, Brad, I don't give two bleeps about that. It's good seeing all of you. Well, a lot of news. Hell of a lot of news, as you can see up here. Interesting. Whoa, that's not good. Wasn't expecting that. Let's see here. I told you I was having issues. Let's see. Well, now I don't know what to do because this is not working correctly. And I told you I was having issues. Let's see. No idea what that means. We might have to figure something else out because we have no image. There's no desktop capture. So not sure how we're going to fix that one out. That's lovely. Oh, wing it, BB. We can wing it. If you guys are cool, let's do that. Hell yeah, I'm all for that. The only problem is you're not going to be able to hear or see things, but that's fine. This is where you shoot from the hip, baby. Let's do it. So we have a venture capitalist foresees economic renaissance in the future here if Trump actually implements Doge. Now, we've talked a lot about Doge, the Department of Governance Efficiency or Government Efficiency. And what basically that is going to do is it is going to kind of slash a lot of the wasteful spending, a lot of the wasteful jobs we don't need, people not showing up to work. There's also rumors that they're going to try to implement this whole idea of, hey, you have to come back in the office if you're a federal employee. By that, I mean, like, if you are near the building, or you might be let go. But the reason I say federal employees, because some people are federal employees, but have always worked out of state or whatever it is. Well, you have here an opportunity to, quote, create an economic renaissance if his upcoming administration is able to significantly decrease the number of regulations, a venture capitalist said this past week. Now, his name is Chamath. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. Holy lordy. Palitata. That's what it's. Who held a fundraiser. Let's pretend like I didn't try that. For the Trump administration earlier this year, which fellow tech investor David Sachs, see, that one's easy. Yes, the last name Sachs, I could do that one. Spoke about the potential boons of Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy efforts leading Doge under the Trump administration's latest episode of the All-in-One podcast. Now, luckily, in the event that something were to happen, I got a transcript. So, during the All-in-One podcast or All-in podcast, the individual, the behemoth, the guy that we're talking about, the Chamath, said Doge could ignite an economic renaissance. I think that the U.S. economy could be growing at 4 to 5%, but it is impossible to be able to live up to your economic potential when you have this burden on your neck. Correct. And one of those burdens is the regulation. And you have Vivek Ramaswamy always talking about, hey, we need to slash these regulations so that businesses can actually thrive. You're choking them. You're basically not enabling them to be able to do the things that they want to do because they're having to put money into following all these regulations. Cool. I think the real opportunity for Doge is to basically do whatever it needs to do to wipe as many of these regulations off the books. Thank you. Chamath then discussed the potential for a flat tax. Now, I don't know about that one, but we'll get into it. Noting how it would allow entrepreneurs to spend more time thinking about what to build instead of optimizing the tax code. Now, there is truth to that, but you could just simplify the tax code without creating a flat tax. The reason why I say this is because generally a flat tax does hurt the lower income kind of structure or class, if that makes sense. Like a 10% tax on me or somebody that comes on middle class, if anybody's like upper class, a 10% tax won't be that much of a hit compared to somebody that a 10% of their income is quite a bit of money because they're lower income. So a progressive tax would probably be the better side of things. But at the same time, if you want to go, well, pay your fair share, then a flat tax would be the answer, because then everybody is paying 10%, and that is everybody's fair share. Hey, we said it would mean 10%, 10% of his income, 10% of your income, so on and so forth. Now I just made up 10%. It could be 20, 30. I don't know. It's way too high in my opinion. I don't want any tax. And by the way, you wouldn't need a massive tax if you didn't have all these government bloated agencies out there. So you could actually save a ton of money here by just getting rid of a lot of the wasteful stuff that we're having to spend on, and stop sending freaking 20 billion to this country, 100 billion to this country, 60 billion here. Here's 100 million to test if monkeys can think that they're gay or something. I don't know. They do stuff like that. I know that this has to be passed by Congress. I understand that. But the idea of just cutting this all the way down and then finding through that process what you actually need, I think can find America 100, 200 basis points of GDP growth. It could be an economic renaissance. And I do agree with that. There's a lot of potential here. And we're going to see how Donald Trump handles it. Now, will he handle it well? I don't know. And I'm just checking to see if it will still work. And it won't. So that's how they keep the lobby money coming in, pay to overlook the regulation. Yeah, there could definitely be some truth to that. Absolutely. And we might as well just spend a little bit more time with the chat today now that we can't see the videos that I have. Makes perfect sense. We shot a bunch of redcoats over a 3% tax. Yeah, we did a lot. We did a lot of stuff over tax. And now we're just so happy about being taxed up the wazoo, which is weird. But again, you know, there's a reason for the taxation, because when you try to make the government baby daddy for everything, then that's what kind of problems you run into. Whereas if you created a private sector to do all these things, you know, you could pay them through the taxation of it. You know, it'll be handled a little bit different. And in theory, because there's a competition for those yearly contracts, not 20-year contracts and all these other things, well, you could probably do things for a little bit cheaper here or there. And I say yearly contracts because if you notice these government contractors, these private contractors that are sitting there gathering up these buttloads of money that are charging us $85,000 for a box of Tic Tacs or whatever, you know, that's a little bit of a problem there. And Donald Trump's going to clean that up, and so's Vivek Ramaswamy. Well, Rand Paul, Denver mayor, would likely be removed from office if he obstructs ICE. Now, this is a big conversation. This is just Denver mayor. We also have Massachusetts mayor, if you recall, that is they're going to harbor actually these people that are murderers, that are rapists, that are causing all these problems. It's a huge issue. It's a problem. Well, Rand Paul sees it, and he said on Sunday that the mayor of Denver will be removed from office if he obstructs federal immigration officials from being able to carry out deportations in his city. Paul's comments come after the far-left mayor, Mike Johnston, said that he would deploy the Denver Police Department at the county line to keep immigration and customs enforcement agents out. Johnson said that it would turn into Tiananmen Square moment and that he was not afraid of being arrested. Paul, who sits on the... He's a hero, you guys. See, he's a hero for making sure these people stay in the city. I really can't wrap my head around that. I understand that some of these people are good, some of them are bad, and some of them are raping and murdering our children and women. Yes, Laken Riley, for prime example right there. And now we have to pay with our tax dollars some scumbag to stay in our prisons for doing what he did. Again, so Paul sits on the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee and told CBS that Johnson will be removed from the office if he tries to obstruct ICE for operating inside Denver. My question is, what about all these other mayors? What about my freaking Governor Newscum over here in California? What about, God, what's the one lady's name that does LA? She's I've even met her. Can't even remember her name anymore. Anyways, that's how much I care about LA. The mayor of Denver is going to resist federal law, which there's a long-standing history of the supremacy of federal law. If he's going to resist that, it will go all the way to the Supreme Court, and I would suspect that he would be removed from office. Well, you would hope so, because national security is at risk, and somehow in between 2001 and now, the Democrat Party has forgotten that there's a lot of people that want to hurt us. A lot of people. But it's fine. We need equality. We need to make sure everybody lives in America. We don't have to make sure everybody lives here. It's not our job. It's not our job to take in the entire world. It's the world's job to sit there and work together to try to uplift other countries if they can. Not that they're demanded to have to do that, but this whole idea that we are obligated to take in everybody is the oddest thing to me. I don't know when that started or how long that's been going on for, but we don't have a responsibility to the world. We have a responsibility to our own citizens, and we get to decide as the citizens of the country how many people come in, how many people don't come in, who we could take in and who we can't take in, and who we should take in and who we shouldn't take in. It's not that, oh, well, this person has a bad life, so we have the responsibility of taking them in. No, we don't. I know people don't want to hear that, right? Because it sounds very unempathetic. But empathy in politics is harmful because when you have that type of empathy, you sit there and make very poor decisions sometimes, like we're seeing from the Democrat Party of allowing millions of people to pour into this country because you feel bad for them, because you have a heart. But the thing is that if you want to make your country great, you need to sit there and stay in your own country and try to make it great. Now, is that easy for me to say here in a freaking closet? Absolutely. But we had to do the same thing. Our forefathers had to do the same thing before us. Generations before us had to make those sacrifices to make America great. Somebody has to do it, or else the country's never going to change. They're just going to sit there and run from it. And sometimes I get that. I know I'm saying this in a freaking closet in the greatest country God's ever known, created, but it doesn't make it any less true. That's for sure. Jeremy says it's amazing how easy it is for our country to forgive billions of dollars that we've given to Ukraine. It's disgusting. They should pay us back every dollar. Yeah, we'll see. Remember, they've also lost a lot of money. They lost millions of our dollars. Remember, people forget this, and I'm not hounding you, Jerry. I'm just bringing up another idea of what kind of piggybacking on what you said. People forget the idea that this was one of the most corrupt countries in the world. That whole idea of Shokin was looking into the Biden family corruption with Hunter Biden and Devin Archer and Burisma Holdings. That was just a piece of the puzzle. That was just a slice of the pie, baby. He was looking into the corruption that was happening everywhere in that country because there was a lot of it. And it's just funny how we don't know where almost $1 trillion went in the 7th failed audit. It was like almost $900 billion. We just, can't account for. Don't know where it went. Huh. Crazy. We live in wild times. I guess this works out in the chat's favor a little bit of not having the screen working, huh? That is weird, right? I think it might be my graphics card just going kaput. I scheduled an appointment. Just if you're curious, I scheduled an appointment for December 1st. I'm gonna take the baby in the computer. I don't know what's going on. The hardware goes out. It happens. The level of corruption in government is far beyond too much. Get rid of all the vermin, correct? Or the house that they bought in Europe is a fake news. Well, we also have Marjorie Taylor Greene suggests NPR could be in Doge's crosshairs. Nothing but Democrat propaganda. I mean, not just that, but MSNBC, rumor is that Elon Musk might be trying to buy that. So we'll see. Everything, dude, this is so crazy. It's such a blessing to be in this time of politics. You know what I mean? It really is. Like I've always found politics hilarious and comedic and kind of silly and goofy. That's why I enjoy it so much. I don't really take it honestly all too serious. Sometimes I do. Like that's why illegal immigration and the debt is like my two biggest issues. And those two things I take serious because there's terrible consequences to all of that. That affects everybody. Not too many things in government will actually affect everybody, right? From the federal level, where actually it shouldn't be the case all that much. It will. Taxation affects everybody, of course. The military kind of could affect, you understand what I mean. Well, let's get into this. So President-elect Donald Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, could set its sights on government-funded media programs like the National Public Radio. Marjorie Taylor Greene said on Sunday. Well, could it be the fact that NPR, that is being funded by the government, is spreading a bunch of bogus crap and is just a shill for the Democrat Party? Maybe that could be it. Oh, Krager, Jesus. You guys. And this has a potential spiraling, which is why I don't know if I want to read it. Krager over at Rumble gave $2. Damn it. Well, one, thank you very much. But he says, computer fund, let's go Patriots, give a small dono. God. Don't do it, okay? This totally is a callback from the camera fund that you guys started, which we did buy a new camera. I appreciate that. Anywho, okay, so you guys are too much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Craig. Honestly, I really do. Green, who has been tasked with heading a new House Oversight Subcommittee to work with Doge leaders Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, mentioned the network while discussing how she believes wasteful spending is happening all over the government during a Sunday morning Futures interview with Fox News host Maria Bartiromo. Quote, we've been looking at everything from government funding media, programs like NPR that spread nothing but Democrat propaganda. There we go. Isn't that what we said? Isn't that what we said? Oh, here we go. I knew it. I knew you gotcha. Dizzy, thank you, sir. Fix your shit, bro. Love you. Thank you, Dizzy. Appreciate the $10 over at Rumble. Here we go. Oh, you guys are too much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. You know how embarrassing this is that this doesn't work. I might hold on a second. Like, can we try to fix it? Hold on, let me see. Display capture number 2. Hey, hold on a second. We got something here. We're not out. I did it. Take your money back. How this happened, I don't know. I don't change anything. Well, we're doing this live on air. Okay? Oh, you're like thinking, oh, Brad's not as stupid as I thought he was. Huh. Oh, boy. Take your money back. I don't need it anymore. Actually, I'm still taking it because the computer's still broken, believe it or not. All right, hey, we got it back. Look what we've done. You know what probably happened is because I've been working on this bad boy for 2 days that I probably just messed up the screens. Screw it, we'll do it live. Yeah. Sorry. Gee. I can't do a show. Q 1969 with $20. It's only going up in price. Thank you so much. Here you go, Brad. I can't do this, you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Really, put the wallets away. God, I love you guys too much. This is getting out of control. I told you it was going to spiral. That's why I didn't know if I want to read Krager's comment, but I have to. The guy gave money. All right, well, here, we might as well, now we got video, we might as well see it. Watch something else breaks. Here she is.
Tell us what you see as the most government waste.
It's all over. Every single government department, program, grant programs, contracts, it is everywhere. And so when we look into a deep dive into this massive problem that's caused America to be $36 trillion in debt, we're going to have to go into all kinds of buckets. And that's how I'll be separating things on the Oversight Subcommittee on Doge. We'll be looking at everything from government-funded media programs like NPR that spread nothing but Democrat propaganda. We'll be going into grant programs that fund things like sex apps in Malaysia, toilets in Africa, all kinds of programs that don't help the American people. I want to talk to the people at the Pentagon and ask them why they can't find billions of dollars every single year and why they fail their audit. But not just that, too.
Tell us what you see as the most government waste.
You know, sometimes when I say stuff, right, because I told you guys it's reactionary. What I do when I do show prep, I'm reading the news. I'm like, oh, that sounds like something interesting I'd want to talk about with the Patriots. That's something that they might find interesting as well. Cool, let's talk about it. And then we dive into it together. Very rarely do I sit there and go through the actual article itself. And what's funny is it almost seems like I have, because they say the same things I do. Like, hey, about the freaking audit, you failed the 7th one. I kind of want to know where that $1 billion went. I kind of want to know where that $100 billion went. or that $1 trillion? I think we all are kind of curious, right? Follow the money. Might be kind of interesting. I wonder where all of it's going. Well, we know some of it's going to NPR to be part of the Democrat Party and spread a bunch of nonsense. I'm not saying everything they spread is nonsense, but a lot of it is. You also have Senator Mullen rips Democrat senators outright, dangerous attack on Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know why they're going after her so hard. It just shows that when you sit there and leave the Democrat Party and you move to prosperity and greatness called the Republican Party, they start attacking you like they did with Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump was all their friends, donated to all of them. Oh, come to my wedding. This is great. Blah, blah, blah. I love you so much, Donald. Thank you for your money. You're so great. I love you. And then he becomes, the president, and all of a sudden he's evil. He's racist. He's terrible. Nobody likes the guy. Funny how that works out. Nobody had a problem with Tulsi. She was running. She was running for president on the Democrat side of the aisle. They loved her. She was great. Now all of a sudden they hate her. And it's just so interesting how all that works out, isn't it, Patriots? So he slammed Tammy Duckworth's attack on former Representative Tulsi Gabbard. It's interesting they're still putting her as a Democrat of Hawaii, even though she's a registered Republican now. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's a mistake, but over the weekend, calling her smear outright dangerous. Mullen made the remarks during a Sunday interview on CNN's State of the Union. Well, we have a clip of that. Let's go ahead and see it.
Well, I think she's compromised. I think by going to Syria and basically backing, a brutal dictator there. Russian-controlled media called her a Russian asset.
You got to keep in mind, Tulsi Gabbard is still Lieutenant Colonel in the United States Army. She commands the reserve unit here in Oklahoma and Missouri. If she was compromised, if she wasn't able to pass a background check, if she wasn't able to do her job, she still wouldn't be in the Army. And so Tammy is absolutely dead wrong on this, and she should retract those words. That's the most dangerous thing she could say, is that a United States Lieutenant Colonel and the United States Army is compromised and is an asset of Russia. It's actually sad to hear her say that. When I heard her say that, I thought, I wonder if this is political, because she's upset that Tulsi Gabbard left the Democrat Party because they went woke. Because I know they actually got along when they were in the House, and she knows Tulsi Gabbard. She knows her heart. She has a heart to serve. And so I think that's probably more politically motivated than it actually has any truth to it at all.
Not wrong. I don't know if there's going to be pushback on this. I actually don't have a problem with somebody coming on the airwaves on broadcast news or legacy media. I don't care what it is. And coming out and saying, hey, this person is a Russian asset, a Chinese asset, all these other things. Well, the reason why is because it's happened. Now, do I think Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset? Of course not. I think that's freaking silly. But she has a right to say it, and maybe she believes it. The part that I find the most interesting is the fact that they're still pushing this whole Russian thing. That, the Republican... I say it. I've said it at the beginning, and I'm going to say it again now. You leave the Democrat Party and you come into the Republican Party, all of a sudden you're Russian this, Russian that, a Russian asset. You're spreading Russian misinformation, Russian disinformation. They're giving you money, right? You're working with them. You probably had all these meetings. It's so interesting how they just think that we're that stupid. And maybe some of us really are if they keep pushing it. Hell, I don't know. But it's still, they're pushing the whole Russia hoax. They haven't learned. It's an amazing thing that after all these years, that they think we're still that stupid. Even after the election, the whole country's red. And you might think, hey, yeah, maybe they're not really taking in the whole Russia thing. Maybe they really aren't taking in that Trump's a racist. Maybe they don't really believe all those things. Maybe I should change my tune. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a go-to thing for them, where when they answer a question, it's like, yeah, Russia will work. Racism will work. I can't explain it, but I'm going to just say it on the airwaves regardless. I don't know. Well, speaking of people that just say a bunch of nonsense on the news, you got CNN. And Scott Jennings is back. Scotty doesn't know that he's great. So Trump's cabinet picks are so ideologically diverse, and makes CNN Scott Jennings feel squirmish. Oh, I love it. Scott's great. A lot of you were saying that you wouldn't mind him being the White House press secretary, but job's taken, sorry.
Trump is not getting enough credit here for building an ideologically diverse cabinet. When you got everybody from Russ Vought, who's very conservative, all the way over to the pick for labor secretary as a supporter of the PRO Act, and somehow Randy Weingarten is happy about it. I mean, what he has done is, which makes me squeamish, to be candid. And so what he has done, though, is put together an ideologically diverse group of people to sit in a room and help run the government. And that's kind of how he won. His coalition was kind of ideologically diverse that elected him. I think.
Their heads have to be spinning because he's using that word diversity, right? Diversity. And that's the Democrats' word. They claimed it, right? It's almost cultural appropriation to be using that word in front of them. How dare you? He's a racist, right? He's hired like black guys, right? Asian guys, Hispanic, like all these people are on his cabinet, women everywhere, right? Mark Cuban just like 4 weeks ago was like, there's no intellectual strong women around him. There's all these women running the show left and right. Remember all these feminists with their hair in pigtails? Some of them claim to be women, but they're actually men, right? Running the streets in freaking skirts and bras and weird stuff, Well, remember how they were like, we need to get rid of the patriarchy. Men run everything. Trump is a freaking misogynistic scumbag, right? Whatever it is. Dude sitting there uplifting women everywhere and everyone's happy about it on the Republican side. This is awesome. Look how strong and awesome she is. And they still call us all these names. You womanizer. You just don't want to see women freaking in leadership roles. It's like, how many times do we have to tell these idiots on the other side of the aisle, these progressive leftists, that we don't care about somebody's gender. We just care about somebody's noggin and how well they are at doing their job, how good they are actually getting things done. Does this work properly? That's all I care about, and the character of who you are. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Hispanic. I don't care what your race, ethnicity is, and I don't care if you're male or female. I just care that you actually do your job well, because if you do your job well, the country does well. For some ungodly reason, not sure what it is, and maybe a Democrat in here can explain it to me, I don't understand why they don't understand that. I don't get it. And they're, well, you're the party of racism. I don't know. Don't know. If any of you patriots in the chat can figure it out, let me know. If you were audited and were off by $100, you'd be held responsible. Why not the government? I mean, really? Yeah, exactly. The problem is that, you know, if we owe $100, you know, and depending on when we pay it, we have to pay interest and a penalty. But the government, if we were to implement that, that's just more taxation on us. And what sucks about that is no accountability, meaning nobody gets fired, nobody gets let go. It's all promotions, left and right, da-da-da-da-da. That's why, honestly, I don't care that normally I struggle with people being laid off, right? Because that's somebody's job. They have a family to feed, and we don't see that. We don't see the thousands of people whose jobs are just go poof, gone. But you know what? After a while, when we're $35 trillion in debt, somebody needs to be let go. Somebody does. And that's easy for me to say, again, in a closet and all these other things. But at this point, it's a little bloated. It's a little much. It's a little crazy. I think we can all agree with that. She had Scott Jennings there doing the Lord's work. And we're just going to continue to snowball this whole thing of people that say crazy things, these outlets that say crazy things, and just kind of still can't wrap their head around certain things in life. And that one's Joy Behar. Joy Behar is like the epitome of just everything all in one. Saying stupid stuff, right? Saying incoherent things, having a false reality. I mean, really, the list does go on. I always recall this. It's the best. She always gets all excited because Joe Biden gets out of bed every morning. He exercises. Yeah, he's doing a great job. She thought Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would fix the country. She thought Kamala Harris was going to fix the economy. Oh, joy. Joy to the world. Her brain doesn't work. And it hasn't for quite some time. Her brain hasn't worked for so damn long. She doesn't have a clue that her brain doesn't work. It hasn't worked for quite some time. You know, it's just, Joy, you are a blessing for content. Your brain hasn't worked for quite some time. So Joy Behar, I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry. That's why we come here, right? What other podcast host gives you this? Like, well, Brad, not many are as bonkers and crazy and ridiculous as you are. Correct. So Joy Behar here says she doesn't understand. No, Joy, you don't. A lot of things. Why bathrooms everywhere are not open to all genders amid a discussion about incoming trans-identifying male Congressman Sarah McBride. On The View on Friday, Behar and her co-hosts were discussing Nancy Mace's bill to keep McBride, who will represent Delaware in the House next year, from using the women's bathrooms at the Capitol. So, of course we have a clip.
Every Congress person has a bathroom in their, every congressperson has a bathroom in their office. So she's got a bathroom she can use in her office. And I'm sure she can use your bathroom and the bathroom of every Democrat and every person who's not a bigot in the United States Congress.
We have bathrooms here. In this building, it just says all genders.
Yeah.
Why can't they just do that everywhere?
Yeah, there are all gender bathrooms in many of the Capitol office buildings, not necessarily in the Capitol itself, but we're going to work through that.
Renovate.
Oh, renovate. Yeah, build more bathrooms, spend more of our money. Yeah, somebody else is paying for it. Don't worry about it. Who cares? Just throw money out the window. It's interesting because and I mean, it's like this with a lot of people, but when something doesn't impact you, you're more likely to sit there and push forward the very thing that doesn't impact you. For example, women's bathrooms. Well, if a guy that thinks he's a woman comes in your bathroom and does something horrible to you, well, now you feel impacted and probably go, hey, oh, damn it. Peggy with the $5 Go Fix It fund, no turkey for you. God. Oh, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Well, at least we'll be able to repair the computer if it needs a repair. And I'm assuming it does because everything keeps crashing on me. You guys just don't see it, but at least OBS and all this works. Thank the Lord. Everything else around it, well, it doesn't. So if you want to hang around after, again, I have all this week off of work. I will tell you what's going on. And I think a few of you in here might know a lot about computers. So maybe you can answer my question. But, yeah. Anyways, the Washington Post reported that multiple sources close to the Trump transition team indicated that those who will be fired also include career attorneys who are, am I on a whole new thing? Hold on a second. Time out here. I'm sorry, folks. I got a little bit distracted. When things don't affect you, coming back, like, sorry, just going on. When things don't affect you, you're more likely to implement the very thing. So the whole idea is that there's people being affected across the country where these men who think they're women are going into the women's bathroom and doing some weird stuff. Maybe whipping out their pee-pee everywhere so people could see it, doing these crazy things to women that are unacceptable. All these things are taking place, and it doesn't need to happen. Women feel uncomfortable when a grown man walks into their bathroom and does whatever needs to be done. It bothers them. They don't feel safe. And for some reason, Joy Behar and The View can't wrap their head around it. Oh, well, this should just be available to everybody. Well, we could have all gender bathrooms just left and right. They don't get it. They don't get it. And so you implement things that are going to be potentially harmful now to a lot of people. Trump to gut DOJ of everyone who worked on cases against him. Now, it doesn't mean that he's going to prosecute them. Okay? He's just going to fire him. President-elect Donald Trump is reportedly planning to fire everyone who worked with special counsel Jack Smith on criminal cases against him. The Washington Post reported that multiple sources close to the Trump transition team indicated those who will be fired also include career attorneys who are often not fired when a new administration takes over. And you see a constant theme here, right? This is part of the bureaucracy. These are part of people that were never elected, and now they're put in the positions of power to go after former presidents. And it's about time somebody comes in, and thank God he has that catchphrase, "You're fired, get out," because he's going to be saying that more than ever. The report added that Trump wants to create investigative teams within the department to look for evidence of fraud from the 2020 election that may have happened in battleground states. Thank you. Again, I think we're all curious. It's funny how a lot of people, when they saw the graph of the 2016 election, and then, well, let's go back. It's like, what was it? 2014, 2016. It's all even. And then they get to like 2020. It's like, boom. And then 2024 brings it back down again. It's like, wow, where's the anomaly at? Where's the weird spike for Democrats? Like 15 to 20 million spike. Where'd that come from? And now people even like Joe Rogan, right? Trump's like, I got the stolen election. Votes came from the sky. They came from Mars. And nobody wanted to look under the hood. This is good. Now, it doesn't really mean much because it's years later and we had to deal with Joe Biden shit for however long. President Trump campaigned on firing rogue bureaucrats. There we go. That's what Bradley just said. These bureaucrats who have engaged in illegal weaponization. It's almost like I wrote it myself. President Trump campaigned on firing rogue bureaucrats who have engaged in illegal weaponization of our American justice system, and the American people can expect he will deliver on that promise. Goodbye. You're gone. See you later. There's the door. Leave the stapler. That's government property. Taxpayer property. Don't you touch those paper clips, bitch. If you guys are enjoying this, hit that like button. Oh, here we go. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So we got Peggy's thing. Terry comes out of the woodworks. What's in your coffee, Brad? Well, quite frankly, it is the good stuff that we promote here. If you want to light your candle, it's $17.75. And I'm actually out of it. Now, I started off weak. If you saw, I was fumbling through my words because I was still trying to wake up because, like I said, I had a late night trying to fix my computer. Last 2 days, for that matter, I've been working on this thing. And guys, like, my watch was like, continuous sleep, but not enough. It's like, you're almost dead. So I was slurring a little bit. I couldn't say Renaissance. I was saying other words that just don't make sense, but we're here now. That's what happens when you get a full cup of coffee and you're ready to go, baby. So President Trump campaigned on firing these rogue bureaucrats, and one of many cases that President Trump won the election in a landslide is Americans are sick and tired of seeing their tax dollars spent on targeting the Biden-Harris administration's political enemies rather than going after real violent criminals in our streets. Thank you. Yes. This has to be his spokeswoman. Where is it at? Yes, right here. There she is. She's good. She's good. Carolina's good. Trump's plans come after he announced on Thursday that he has selected former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to be the U.S. next Attorney General. And this had Democrats shaking their boots. This is why they're all fleeing, right? This is why even some of them are getting out of the country, because she's going to come in and just start doing the job. She's going to do it well. She's going to do it really well. You want to know somebody who doesn't do their job well, though? No, it's not Joy Behar. It's a good cat. That's a very good guess. It does start with Joy, but it doesn't end with Behar. She does a terrible job at her. Well, we got Joy Reid here. Now, she has a message for all of us. You guys ready? I'm like the mailman. Oh, Patriots, we got some mail for you. People don't feel safe with you. Oh. Have legitimate fear of you. Oh, okay. We're all sitting here having fun, right? Laughing our asses off, having a good old time. And she's like, everybody's scared and terrified of you guys. You're just a scary man. Right? We're all having coffee in the morning, living life. We won the election. We're heading into a freaking golden Renaissance era. Like tax dollars hopefully coming down, or tax code, whatever it is, just gone poof, evaporated. Right? Oh, prosperity's coming. Da, 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 da. The greatest Christmas we've had in like 40 fucking years. Da, da. Yeah, they're fearful of you guys, right? We're just happy-go-lucky people. I just want to be left alone, have a great Thanksgiving. Yeah. Well, let's see what she said here. Hold on a second. Hold on. What's going on? Hey. Whoa. She cured baldness.
People are rightfully alarmed. They have a reason to be alarmed. And if you would vote for that, people may not feel so confident that they're safe with you. This is not crazy. This is legitimate feelings of fear of you and a feeling that you might not be someone they could trust. If this thing goes way south, autocracies go south real fast and things get ugly and people get asked to do things and turn people in and point people out and turn on them. And if you're voting affirmatively, gleefully for this, people might, may not feel so confident in you anymore. That's real, and you kind of have to live with it. So if you think that you can vote for what people see as their destruction and then demand that they still are cool with you and kiki with you and have Thanksgiving with you, I think you're kind of missing the point of what people are upset about. They're afraid. And autocracy and fascism are things that are legitimate to be afraid of. So you may want to step back.
The party that calls us racists, the party that calls us fascists, the party that calls us a threat to democracy, a threat to the country, all these names. Yeah. Oh, they're going to be so fearful of you. Oh, they may not want to hang out with you on Thanksgiving. I don't give a shit. If you don't want to hang out with me on Thanksgiving, that's fine. Okay, more food for me. Get the hell out of my house. You know what I mean? Just so happens a lot of my friends are Trump supporters. They get it. Not all of them. Not all of them. And the ones that aren't, if they don't want to hang out, that's fine. I don't care. That's the great thing about being an introvert. Let me tell you, I'm alone majority of my time. Probably, other than work, I'm probably by myself. And, well, obviously with my wife, but you get what I'm saying. It's peaceful. It's quiet. I'm a loner. I don't hang out with anybody. I got a couple friends. I got Patriots in here. I hang out with you fine people every morning. But other than that, no, hey, you don't want to come to Thanksgiving? I don't give a shit. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? Is anybody an introvert? I don't do well in front of a group of people. I could do it, right? I could fake my way through it like I do when I do my job when I'm talking in front of 40 people every single hour for 5 hours on end. But other than that, I'm just, I enjoy being alone. Yeah, there you go. I thrived during COVID, you guys. I don't think you understand. I was, don't get me wrong, it wasn't great, but I was thriving. I was I got to be by myself. This is awesome. Therapy could help her. I don't know. I don't know who we're talking about, but if it's Joy, I don't think no, that's Trump derangement syndrome, my friends. That Trump derangement syndrome is not curable. No, sir. Now, sometimes it is in rare cases. Yes, in very rare cases, people have survived Trump derangement syndrome. They have. And they've come out with, they're called the red pills. Yes. And those pills are rare. Yeah. Usually they're ineffective, but sometimes they're really potent. And you get both sides of the coin on that one. Well, consumer sentiment skyrockets among Republicans following Trump's victory. Oh, what could that be all about? What could that be all about? Hopefully I didn't miss anybody here. Hold on one second. Sorry, folks. Hold on. And funding. We got Q, we got Peggy, we got Terry. Okay, just want to make sure. I want to make sure I left out. Keep your wallets in your purses and your tushies. American consumer sentiment is on the rise, especially among Republicans following Donald Trump's landslide victory over Vice President Kamala Harris earlier this month. It still comes off the tongue. It still rolls right off the tongue, and it feels good. The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index rose 71.8 in November, which marks the highest point since April. Consumer sentiment was rising before the election, but the latest report shows a massive spike among Republicans who are more optimistic about the economy following Trump's win. Overall, the stability of the nation's sentiment this month obscures discordant partisan patterns. First of all, the fact that I can get that out at 6:47 a.m. speaks volumes to the coffee I'm drinking right now. Oh, shout out to Franco. Franco, have fun editing the first part of the show. Our computer wasn't working properly. In a mirror image of November 2020, the expectations index surged for Republicans and fell for Democrats this month, a reflection of the two groups. Ultimately, substantial uncertainty remains over the future implementation of Trump's economic agenda, and consumers will continue to recalibrate their views in the months ahead. Now, it always gets me going when I see people write stuff like this, because it's so obvious, you know what I mean? Where it's basically like, yeah, you know, regardless of the president, people are going to sit there and kind of look at when they're going to spend money and when they're not going to spend money. You know, like, yeah, of course you're going to look at what the economy looks like and kind of determine and recalibrate. What? It's such an obvious thing to say. Among Americans, consumer sentiment shot up by 15.5 points, while it dropped among Democrats 10.1. Now, remember, I don't care what they think, meaning the Democrats. They voted in Joe Biden. They thought his brain was working correctly when we were all shouting in our screens and televisions into the skies, Joe's brain is functioning improperly. Something's wrong with that guy. Things aren't clicking. Wires crossed. Should not vote for him. It's bad. And they still voted for the guy. The same party told us Kamala Harris was a good pick. A lady that they told us, right? They thought, this is all Democrats thinking, right? And they think that the economy's not going to do well. I'm not going to listen to them. They thought Kamala Harris was going to fix the economy, that she was going to fix our debt. Oh, we're going to start paying it down. Her campaign is in debt. They can't pay their staffers. Oh, she's going to fix everything. She has the problems. She has the solutions to all our problems. Yeah, no, she's going to figure it out. Yeah, where is Biden? I've been asking that for 2-3 weeks. Where is, well, I know that he wandered off again. That wasn't just the Amazon. He wandered off again. I'm trying to find a video clip of it. Yeah, Joe just walked off again. And we know he went on vacation like a couple weeks ago. He was back in Delaware again, kicking his feet in the sands. As to why, I don't know. It's winter. Or it's the fall. I don't know what season we're in, but it's cold. Consumer sentiment also slightly ticked down among independents. Future expectations also increased among Republicans by nearly 30 points. So we'll see what comes of that, and we'll see if Donald Trump fixes the economy here. Now, a president can only do so much, to be fair. I know we hounded Joe Biden a lot of like him doing this and that, but look, what he did was wrong. He did affect the economy by allowing, 10 plus million people to come here illegally and storm into your infrastructure of the very state that you're living in and kind of cripple it, i.e. Chicago, New York City, and everywhere else. And that's more money out of your pocket because you have to pay for those things. When you have a bunch of people entering in the education system, well, you got to pay for teachers. You got to pay for more people to be hired to do a job that otherwise wasn't that expensive before you had millions of people taking place in those sectors. Well, we got some news here on Laken Riley, and MSNBC had to sit there and correct themselves and shamed into editing trash headline, Laken Riley's killer never stood a chance. Now, remember these article titles that we went over last week? I don't know if you all remember, but it was like, oh, Venezuelan national, just good guy on the street, kills bad girl. That didn't really happen, okay? That one wasn't really stated whatsoever, but it wouldn't be surprising if they said something like that. MSNBC was apparently shamed into editing a Thursday headline on a piece covering the trial of a illegal immigrant who was convicted earlier this week for the brutal murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. Now, we have to pay taxes on that guy's food, shelter, water, toiletries, all that other stuff, clothing for the rest of his life. The piece was written by legal analyst Danny, is that Ceballos? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that. Somebody will correct me. It was initially headlined, Laken Riley's killer never stood a chance. That's that's insane. It explored whether or not the conclusion of Ibarra's trial conviction on all counts followed a sentence of life without parole had been inevitable from the start. While the overall analysis from the reasons that the defense chose a bench trial over a jury trial to the ultimate outcome of the trial and sentencing was straightforward. The headline quickly raised eyebrows across X. An actual headline from MSNBC, Laken Riley's killer never stood a chance, conservative communication strategist Steve Guest posted. Ask yourself, why is MSNBC writing sympathetic headlines for an illegal alien, monster, and killer? That was our question last week. Yes, thank you, sir. That was our question. Why is MSNBC's legal analyst okay with this headline? That's a good question, Steve. Very good question. I think we're all asking that one. I'm telling you, some of these people, you guys, people have to understand our education system has been lowered drastically. Nobody's talking about it. Again, I keep saying it's a silent epidemic. It has lowered beyond belief. Nobody is aware of this for some ungodly reason. I've been shouting to the skies that our standards are so low that you are producing people that are getting doctorates, master's degrees, they're getting law license, they're getting their CPA, all this stuff. It's just, they're not at the level of what things used to be. Let's just say that. Okay? They're smart people still, but there's no like awareness or social awareness to the things they're saying. Now, it's one thing if you're doing a live broadcast like myself, where you say things and you're trying to go a million miles an hour. You're doing the switchboard yourself, basically your own producer, director, everything, making sure you have the right article, what you want to talk about, read the chat. You have to do all these things. And, sometimes you're just kind of rambling and, things just slip through. They slip through the cracks. You probably should have said it. Here, you're writing it. You have to edit it. Somebody had to approve this. It's not just like, hey, yeah, click send. We're good. It uploads it. No, some editorial, some person at the top, multiple people had to read through this title and go, yeah, it sounds good. You know who never stood a chance? Laken Riley, the actual victim. Correct. Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. Thank you. Correct. Adam Johnson, look at how MSNBC framed the conviction and sentencing of Laken Riley's killer. Jose Ibarra never stood a chance? No, Laken Riley never stood a chance against this monster. Absolutely sickening. You literally can't make this up. This level of depravity. These people are sick. The guy is a murderer. He's a legal alien that killed an innocent young woman, but MSNBC would rather go to bat for him. However much you hate DNC, it's not enough. Oh, wow, it just keeps going. Yeah, even look at Joe Rogan. What the F is this bleep? Correct. There's a reason NBC wants to sell MSNBC. It's the same reason nobody wants to buy it. I mean, Elon Musk might buy it. Joe Rogan said that he would go on Rachel Maddow's show and host and wear the same outfit and spread the same lies as her. He said it. How do I know? Because it's right here. I forgot that I put this in the show. I'm so glad I had it queued up. Past Brad, future Brad thanks you. Joe Rogan asked to take Rachel Maddow's job if Elon Musk buys MSNBC. I keep saying DNC. Just, it rolls off the tongue better. And it's more truthful. So, it doesn't want to work for us. Lovely. Well, that's where I said that not only was he going to sit there and put on her like glasses and outfit and stuff, but he also said he was going to spread her lies if Elon Musk buys it. He asked, Elon Musk said, how much is it worth? And then Donald Trump Jr. on Twitter was kind of talking about the same thing, which I enjoyed. Can you imagine him? Can you imagine if he obviously bought X, but if he buys now he's just buying outlets? Bonkers. Their ratings, you guys, is I can't express to you how low it is for somebody that has like a cable news show. There is full-fledged YouTubers that do podcasts that are getting more views than these people. Like every show they are. I can list them. Like you got Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Andrew Klavan gets more views than them. Every podcast they're getting more views. Donald Trump Jr., right? Dan Bongino has the biggest podcast in the world. Jordan B. Peterson, Megyn Kelly, Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder, The Quartering, a lot of people. So I don't even know why those people are they have to be losing money. If they're making money, man, I don't know what's going on. Well, Blinken is questioned for State Department hosting in-house therapy sessions after Trump win. I knew you guys would love this one. I knew it. This is one of those that I haven't read and I don't know if I'm gonna get through. Ah, blocked. Fuck. Hold on a second. Hold on, let me see if I can get this going here. I gotta make sure you guys can't see this guy. I gotta put it in my information. Oh God, come on. Hold on, I want to make sure we get this. I gotta do some side stuff. Look at, I'm a mess today. It's break. It's Thanksgiving break. If it's gonna make me, there we go. Okay, so I should be able to refresh this now. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Well, it's gone. Let's see if we go back. Oh, jeez. I love how I'm doing this with you guys live. We got the goods. All right. Hey, sometimes you can't control it. You know what I mean? I didn't know it wasn't going to populate for me. I saw it earlier. All right, well, you got this guy who took aim at Secretary of State Anthony Blinken after it was reported that the State Department held therapy sessions. No way. Keep it together, Brad. Keep it together. The State Department held therapy sessions for employees who were upset by President-elect Donald Trump's victory. I'm concerned that the State Department is catering to federal employees who are personally devastated by the normal functioning of American democracy through the provision of government-funded mental health counseling because Kamala Harris was not elected president of the United States. The letter comes after a Free Beacon report earlier this month that detailed 2 alleged therapy sessions oh, shit, that were held at the State Department after Trump's victory. Oh, shit. It gets better. I told you. With sources telling the outlet, oh shit, I'm gonna start crying because it's so good, that one such instance amounted to an information cry session. Oh God. In another instance, an email went out to agency employees and touted a separate, insightful webinar where we delve into effective stress management techniques to help you navigate these challenging times. Oh God, no way. Oh God. No way. I'm crying. It's so hard to see. Give me a second. Oh. It's fucking crazy, dude. It's so wild. Oh my God. It just gets better. Change is a constant in our lives, but it can often bring about stress and uncertainty. Like, okay. Join us for an insightful webinar where we delve into effective stress management techniques to help you navigate these challenging times. This session will provide tips and practical strategies for managing stress and managing your well-being. In his letter to Blinken, this individual argued that the reported sessions were disturbing and that nonpartisan government officials should not be suffering a personal meltdown over a result of a free and fair election. Yo. Oh, man. I told you we're living in the greatest time right now, really. To be doing a podcast like this, there's no greater time. You guys, people are having therapy sessions. They're having therapy sessions over a president being elected. Right? The guy's trying to write it down. Like, what the fuck are you saying? I can't take it anymore. Oh, man. Well, if you're enjoying what you're listening to and you're having a good time with me and the rest of the Patriots, hit that like button. It does support the show. Anybody that comes in here is like, what the hell is this guy doing? Right? Can you imagine stumbling into this podcast right now? Can you imagine coming in right now? What the hell's wrong with this guy? I mean, even my own Patriots are like, what did Brad drink this morning? Some of you are saying it's infectious, though. Thank you. Well, let's get serious. Israel moves towards ceasefire deal with Hezbollah. This is good news. This is good news. By the way, we're going longer than normal. Again, I'm off this week, so I'm off this week. I'll make sure I get through the rest of my tabbies up here. The reported deal comes after Hezbollah launched one of its largest rocket attacks on Israel in retaliation for strikes on Beirut, targeting militant command centers. I saw that video footage of that took place the other day. And lovely. Again, it doesn't want to work, but let's refresh it, and now it's up again. Israel is reportedly moving toward a ceasefire agreement with Hezbollah in Lebanon after nearly a year of fighting escalated into an all-out war in September. Israel media outlets have reported that Israel has tentatively agreed to a U.S.-backed proposal for a ceasefire. No final deal has been reached. Now, here, hold on a second. This is all fine and dandy, but we've heard this story before. Do you guys all remember this whole story where there was a ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel, and Biden comes out and goes, yeah, we reached the ceasefire deal. It's all going to be great. Here are the requirements. And Israel's like, what? Like, we had no involvement in this. You didn't even talk to us about it. What deal? Like, how can we be in a deal when you never talked to us? So basically, Biden sat there and negotiated on behalf of Israel without Israel's involvement at all. So take this with a grain of salt. If it happens, great, because people's lives will be saved here. But I don't know what to believe. And that's the problem when you have an administration that sits there and does a lot of bogus shit and lies all the time, especially his White House press secretary. I don't know whether to sit there and take this serious or not. Whereas normally I'd say, hey, that's great. That's awesome. Look, a ceasefire deal is happening. I'm also curious how much Donald Trump had an effect on this, if any. But either way, look, if Biden can get this done, or if he had involvement in this, then I will give him a pat on the back, because I don't like seeing people dying all the time, especially for that stuff. Well, speaking of people dying, you got these illegal immigrants that are going into U.S. cities and destroying them, right? Well, you have Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says sanctuary cities, and look, we have a different news site here, Newsmax. Sanctuary states, city could lose funding. So sanctuary states and cities could lose their funding. I think they should. If you're going against our government to house people and to classify yourself as a sanctuary city, then you know what? Say goodbye to your funding. We'll see how long that works out for you. Now, they'll just tax their citizens, but either way, at least something's getting done. In the next Congress, the Georgia Republican will head a new subcommittee working with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, the Department of Government Efficiency, whose purpose is to eliminate government waste. Citing illegal immigration as one area in which to save money, Greene said, I'd like to talk to the governors of sanctuary states and the mayors of sanctuary cities and have them come before our committee and explain why they deserve federal dollars if they're going to harbor illegal criminal aliens in their states and their cities. Greene insisted that sanctuary cities and states use their police officers and their resources to harbor and protect illegal criminal aliens, then absolutely those necessary sanctuary states and cities are in danger of losing their federal funding, and rightfully so. The congresswoman insisted other ways to reduce spending is to cut programs, contracts, employees, grant programs, you name it, that are all failing the American people and not serving the American people's interest. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Start sitting there and voiding those checks. We all love to see it. We all love to see it. And why? Well, because migrant murderers put American communities on edge as over 1.4 million avoid deportation with shady tactics. Well, how's that happening? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, folks. I'm going to tell you right now. Hang tight. Americans murdered at the hands of illegal immigrants have left communities throughout the United States on edge as more than 1.4 million people have avoided deportation orders amid the country's border crisis. Oh, well, they avoided it. Well, how did they do that? Well, it still remain in the United States after getting formal deportation orders from federal judges showing just how unserious the Biden administration is about the country's migrant crisis. Well, I mean, their actions showed that for 4 years, right? Of the 1.4 million, Only about 13,000 are behind bars as of July 2023. An estimated 11.7 million illegal immigrants resided in the U.S. according to the Center of Migration Studies. Look, it's from New York, folks. It's way more than 11 million. Come on, that's silly. This you need to double that number, and that's being generous. Double that number. This is what came in just under the Biden administration. Don't give me this. There's more illegal immigrants here than half the populations of our states. The issue has concerned residents throughout the United States as Americans such as Laken Riley and the other individuals here, terrible, have been killed over the past 2 years, all allegedly at the hands of illegal immigrants. It took decades of neglect and bad public policy, coupled with 4 years of unprecedented illegal immigration to get here. You can't reverse it in 4 years. But could the Trump administration in effect fulfill a campaign promise? Absolutely, continued. Well, we'll see. I wonder if Trump will do it. Maybe. It's a lot of work. And people are going, well, he's not going to use the military. You guys, I think for him to deport that many people and to do it, responsibly and kind of efficiently is you'd have to use the military, right? Use those huge planes we have, those trains, all the stuff, and start escorting them, right? Just the yellow brick road. Yellow brick road. Now, I thought you guys would find this interesting. I'm a big gamer, and I'm going to kind of explain. Maybe somebody can help me in the chat here in one moment. And we'll also talk about the upcoming week here, because I'm not going to be live here starting soon, just for this week. Dr. Disrespect, a huge streamer here, will lead Rumble Gaming and join Rumble Premium. So this is one of the biggest gamers, streamer guys in the world. For those that are a little bit older, people stream video games nowadays. And he's coming over to Rumble, which is a huge... I don't know if it's a huge win or what, but the guy has a lot of followers, and it's only going to help Rumble get a little bit more known. He was demonetized on YouTube, as well as, I don't know if he was removed from Twitch or how that whole thing worked out, but that is a huge score for Rumble. And just congratulations to Dylan and Chris, who's the CEO, everybody over at Rumble for this big announcement. It's always nice to see Rumble doing well because the left love to hate on it. Now, let me explain to you what's going on. I'm going on vacation. Doesn't happen all the time. But I might do a show Wednesday morning, and then I leave after the show. So Thursday, Friday, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to ask Franco, he's in the chat, I believe still, to take old clips from prior podcasts and upload them for me. So at least there's some content getting out. But I plan on doing a show for sure tomorrow. I don't know about Wednesday. So Wednesday's up in the air. It's a toss-up. Now, what's going on with the computer is I do play video games on my free time, and, well, video games won't load. As to why, I don't know. And, it just won't load. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I don't know how to fix it. So I got to take the computer in, and it's just crashing, which means the reason why I need to address this, you guys, I know you're like, Brad, we don't care about you playing video games. Well, if my video card is bad, then I could be streaming and the whole thing will just crash. So I have to figure out, I know it's not the RAM because that was the 10-hour test I did yesterday. The RAM is good. It could be the motherboard. It could be the graphics card, or it could be like some sort of my virus protection blocking something. I don't know. But that's what's going on. I'm not sure what's happening right now. So I tried everything. I went through everything. Video card driver, everything's up to date. Yeah. everybody wants to go through it. It's not, I don't think it's the memory. Memory should be good, right? The RAM I tested. The video card, look, I tested everything. It says everything's fine as far as hardware, but all my drivers are up to date. The Windows is up to, everything is up to date. Trust me, I spent 2 days trying to figure this out. I'm not that much of an idiot, but I come across as one sometimes. But anywho, we're going to take it in December 1st. So I don't even know if we'll have a December 2nd show, because if the computer's still at the place, then I don't know. But do a rollback on drivers. Yeah, we'll try. It's only, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I appreciate all you guys, NSA. I want to go through some of your chats here. We'll miss you, Brad. I'll miss you guys, but it's nice. I'm going off the grid, man. There's no Wi-Fi. I did this last time. You guys remember in April, for the long-time viewers, I went for like a week. I just went like off the grid. That was also the same time. I'm going to the same place. You guys remember when I went to that haunted asylum? I like stayed in an insane asylum, like a hospital, old hospital. I'm not going there again, but I'm going to the place previously. It's like a cabin off in the woods. Just off the grid, man. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no TV. It's just a fireplace and a cabin, baby. And I'm just going to read. Daddy's gonna read. So, anywho, all right. Well, that's enough of me rambling. Oh, also, you guys, I need your advice, Patriots. So hopefully you're still here, and I guess the people that are here are the ones that usually are hardcore Bell Brad viewers. I'm thinking about starting not just a morning podcast. I already started that, but also coming home and doing a evening show at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, maybe 4:30. If you're interested, I would love for you to join. Now, it's going to be a lot of the same material, but the objective behind it is that not a lot of people are awake and willing to join a podcast this early. You guys are hardcore, okay? Trust me, you're hardcore. But I want to be able to reach another audience as well that maybe are able to find the show. And so I reached out to Dylan, who's the content coordinator. You guys seen Dylan. He's a viewer of the show as well, but he also works for Rumble. And I just asked him, I said, hey, what do you think are some good times that I could do it? And do you think it'd be a good idea? And I think he was on board with it as well. He thought, hey, here's some times. And so I think I might do an evening show as well for another hour-long podcast or however long we go. And it will be the same stuff we cover, just maybe a little bit different, adding in a little bit more updates on stuff. And yeah, we might do that. So if you're interested, hit Y in the chat and let me know if you would love to be joining us for evenings as well. If not, that's okay. It's late on the East Coast. I'll try and tune in. Yeah, it's so that's 8 o'clock. And that was kind of the objective, is to be able to reach people on the West and East Coast as well. A lot of people do their podcasts later in the day and they get a lot bigger viewership. Guys, the fact that we reach like a couple hundred people here. Dylan's in the chat. Holy Lordy. Look at the man. Good to see you, brother. A lot of people I'm seeing there, and I guess, Dylan's in here. I'll hear this too. My thinking behind it is there's certain followers that I've been watching on Rumble that kind of hopped in roughly around the same time I did. And I see their viewership is higher. And I'm thinking that it's higher because, and they're growing more followers because they're streaming at a different time. And so it's nothing against Rumble or YouTube or anything like that. I'm just saying we do an early morning show. Not everybody's going to catch a show like this that early. So I'm thinking, hey, you know what? We'll do 2 shows, more work, but regurgitate some of the stuff we covered in the morning. And then I'm also able to reach a new audience that way by streaming in the evenings as well. So that's kind of the idea behind it. It's more so to gain more followers and more of the Bald Brad Army than anything. So what's going on, Michelle? So with that, yeah, that's kind of the idea behind it in a nutshell. So those are the thoughts. A lot of people are saying, yeah, they'll tune in. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like, I'll hear it again. Franco put a Y. Franco, I love you, man. Franco, I don't know if you're going to be awake. Franco's in South Africa. All right, well, with that being said, that is the show today. I apologize for the early hiccup. We're going to try to get everything resolved here, hopefully in the next week or so. We'll be back here tomorrow for sure, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and maybe later today. We will see. I don't know. I probably won't start the 5 p.m. thing till next week. I want to get everything figured out for you guys before I do everything, because I don't want this thing to crash on me. But I appreciate everybody that donated their hard-earned money today. That was very kind of you. Very kind of you. To support the computer funding, I guess is what we're calling it. Please don't feel like you have to. That is not a plug. That is not a plug. I'm just saying thank you to those that gave their hard-earned money today. With that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Take care of one another, folks. And I'll see you next time here on The Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.